Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. You know the drill. Copy this down. Go try these problems, and then we'll give you a few more to copy down and a few more to try. But go ahead and pause this and start those problems, okay? All right. Now let's give you a few more to copy down about some adding, subtracting, and multiplying and dividing mixed numbers. Yeah, let's go ahead and go. All right. Okay, so let's copy those four down as well, and then go do those, and then we'll come back and get a whole bunch of answers. Okay, first off, those diamonds. Remember, you got a product on top and a sum on the bottom. What two numbers have a product of 42 and a sum of 13? Well, if you've shown some integrity and done the warm-up most of this year, that's one of the easiest problems ever. If not, you're still learning, okay? And pay attention, write it down, and think about it. If you didn't get it, especially spend a couple seconds thinking about it. And then what happens is it sort of seeps into your brain a little bit better, right? You want it to leave a stain, right? So you leave that coffee in the mug for a couple days, then you go rinse it out, and there's a stain there. You got to scrub it to get it out. You don't want to scrub it. You want it stained. Yeah. Stain your brain with facts, right? 64 and 16. Most of you know 8 times 8 fell on the floor. I picked it up. It was 64. Actually learned that from a sixth grader years ago. He went on to be a all-star wide receiver for Sac State. Great athlete. 64 and 20. Wait a minute. 64, 20, 8. You know what? If I double that 8 and take half of that 8, I will get the same product. Okay. And then if I add those two, now I get 20. And again, I keep doing that. If I double 16 and take half of 4, I'm going to get 64. And that goes on forever, not just with 8 and 8, but with all products. You get the same product if you take half of one of the factors and double the other. 10 and 6.5 is going to be 4 and 2.5, right? 4 plus 2.5 is 6.5. Add 2.5, 2.5 is 5. So 2.5, 2.5 is 5. 2.5, 2.5 is 5. 5 and 5 is 10. Live long and prosper. Sorry for that bent finger. Hoops. Jam. 4 to the third power is not 12. It's 4 times 4 times 4. So 16 times 4. Did we just do that? Yeah, we did. That's 64. 3 to the fourth power is also not 12. It's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. These two 3s make 9. These two 3s make 9. 9 and 9 is 3 to the fourth is the same as 9 to the second. That is not 15. It's not 75. It is 125. So 2/5 over 2/5 to the third power. Again, what is that? 2/5 times 2/5. How many times? Well, it was to the third power. So it's times itself 3 times. 2 times 2 times 2 on top. 5 times 5 times 5 on the bottom. It's going to be 8 125ths. Not that hard. Just got to do in steps, right? 1/2 to the fifth power. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 on top. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 on the bottom. So 2 times 2 is 4. Times 2 is 8. To the fourth power is 16. And 16 to the times 2 is 32. So 1/32. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. But I had to move it over once for that one. Right? Once for the second one. And once for the third one. So I have to go back 3 spots in my answer. And I'm going to run out of room there, so I'm going to write this down here. 1,000th. And the trick with tens and powers, it's going to be 1 with 6 zeros. 1 million. That's how much you should give your math teacher, huh? 1/6 of 18. I could treat of times Put a 1 on the 18 and go 18 times 1 on top, 6 times 1 on the bottom, and simplify. 6 goes into 18, 3 times goes into 6 one time. So 3 over 1 is 3. But there is a trick, right? If you got a 1 on here, if this denominator fits into that numerator, what you're kind of doing here is cross canceling, right? 18 over 1 times 1 over 6. You're saying 6 goes into the bottom once, it goes into the top 3 times. So now my problem becomes 3 times 1 on top, 1 times 1 on the bottom. Easy peasy, right? Okay, but here's the deal. If 1/6 of 18 is 3, then 5/6 of 18 is going to be 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. How many of these? 5 of these things. That's 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, right? So 3 times 5, 5/6 of 18 is 15. You see the trick? 1/4 of 28 is 7. 3/4 is going to be 3 sevens. You see how we did that? 1/3 of 21 is 7. What's 2/3 of 21? Well, it's 2 sevens, 14. What's 5/3 of 21? Well, it's 5 sevens, 35. But that's more than 21. Yeah, because that's more than 1 in proper fraction, right? 9/10 of 30? Well, 1/10 of 30 is 3. 9/10 is going to be 9 times 3. See how we're almost doing that in our head now? I did that fast. Watch it again. Slow it down. See how you do. All right. Let's do these mixed numbers. First off, if I'm adding fractions, I want the denominator to be the same. Now, these are different, but 2 fits into 4, so I can change 1/2 to 2/4, and now I don't have to change that one. 2/4 and 1/4 is 3/4, and 2 and 3 is 5. Not too bad. Okay, not that lucky on this one because halves and sevenths don't have anything in common, right? So I'm going to change both of these to 14ths. I did 2 times 7 to get 14. I go 1 times 7 to get 7. I did 7 times 2 to get 14. I go 3 times 2. And now the next part of this problem that makes it hard is I only have 6/14. I'm trying to take away 7. So I got to go borrow. Now, when I borrow 1 whole, don't put a 1 in front of that because then you're turning that 6 into 16. That means you gave yourself 10 more 14ths. 1 whole is not equal to 10 14ths. 1 whole is equal to 14 14ths. So when I borrow 1 whole, I'm adding 14 14ths there. If I had 6 and I got 14 more, now I have 20. And now I go subtract 20 minus 7 is 13. And then 7 minus 4 is 3. 3 and 13 14ths. And again, I think that's one of the hardest problems you end up doing in 6th grade math. Okay, C method on this one, 7 halves, 8 plus 1 is 9, fourths, multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, I get an improper fraction. 8 goes into 63, 7 times, because that's 56. Sorry for being off the page a little bit there. And my remainder goes on top, divisor on the bottom, 7 and 7/8. I'm going to do the same thing here. 4 times 8 is 32, plus 3 is 35 fourths. But I'm going to remember when I multiply fractions, Miss Nortz told us to smell my feet, right? Ooh, gross, right? The S really stands for the same. Leave that first number the same. It's easier if you leave it the same. And I'm going to multiply instead of divide because multiplying fractions is what? Easy, right? And instead of 1 over 2, that F stands for, I'm going to flip it to 2 over 1. I can cross cancel because 2 goes into the top once, goes into the bottom 2 times. So 35 times 1, 1 times 1, or 2 times 1. 35 halves. Divide the 2 into 35 to change our improper fraction. That's 34. My remainder goes on top. My divisor on the bottom, 17 and 1/2. Okay. I dare you, I double dog dare you to try both of these when you get to the multiplying problem. with the generic rectangle to double check your work. Okay. Hey, have a great Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody.